the more that comes out about James Harden, the more that comes out about him, the more I come to the conclusion that this is one of those situations where it's going to eventually be one of those cautionary tales about being given too much at one time too soon. And ultimately, it led to a lot of bad habits and, and, and negative tendencies or bad tendencies in his part. And then again, the Rockets organization enabled this. They were enablers. And it's led to this situation now where apparently you have in James Harden a what, 32 year old pampered athlete who loves to indulge. Apparently, he loves to indulge in women and maybe food to a certain extent, I guess, judging upon his, you know, ever expanding waistline. Uh, and I just don't know what to say anymore, man. Like, the only thing I could say is that, like most of us on YouTube, we told you so. I mean, how many times are we correct and oftentimes the opposition is incorrect? I told you that with James Harden, yes, he's a great scorer and all that. He put up a lot of points against average teams, but that shit don't impress me. Okay, maybe it would impress me when I was 15, but no, I've seen way too many circumstances and situations where there have been supposedly great players who, at least the media told us they were great. But over time, you begin to see certain signs with guys. James Harden is a guy to me that is stuck on one gear cycle. And that certain gear that he's stuck on, suck on. I know he probably like to suck on chicken wings, but that gear that he's stuck on. It's good enough for him to be successful against mediocre teams, but he's not willing to go that extra mile or up his game to the point where he can be a dominant playoff performer on a consistent level. The playoffs are a different beast. I've said that before, time and time again. I often get bored during the regular season following the NBA because I hear people talk, oh, this guy's an MVP candidate, this guy's this and this guy's that, and I'm like, man, fuck all of this shit. Okay, dropping 50 against the New York Knicks or putting up 60 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, that means something. But when you lack that consistency when the stakes actually mean something, well, then what the fuck is it really saying? Now, about, Russell Westbrook basically saying that, one of the things that turned him off about playing with James Harden and the Houston Rockets organization was that James Harden was rather unprofessional. He didn't lead by example. He was often late to practices and team meetings. He was coddled by the organization, given superstar preferential treatment. Look. To a certain extent, you're going to get preferential treatment when you're a great player. But to me, I can deal with LeBron James getting preferential treatment because he's LeBron James and he's just won a championship. Dennis Rodman, yeah, Rodman was late to meetings and late to practices at times. But one thing you never questioned, for the most part, was Dennis Rodman's effort on the court. At times, he needed to be nudged and kicking the ass by Phil and Michael. But 90% of the time, you never questioned, or 95% of the time, you never had to question Dennis's commitment to the game, his effort, and you never had to question his conditioning. Never. James Harden, on the other hand, is morphing into James Farley. And, it's kind of sad me saying that because getting close to the anniversary with Farley, but, you know, not saying he's headed down that road. He's not a drug addict, but James Harden lacks, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a simple word. It's just not coming to me. Commitment. He lacks, like I said before, he lacks that thing that Kobe and Jordan and Larry Bird had, and he lacks, and Bill Russell, even Wilt, that commitment to at least staying in shape. Okay, I don't know exactly what happened with James Harden. I did make a video a couple weeks ago where I said I kind of understand to an extent that maybe these guys need a bit of a break because when you're an NBA player like they are, technically since last October, they've been in a constant basketball frame of mind. Because even between March and July, when they resumed play, they still had to kind of stay in that mind frame of, okay, the season can restart at any moment or within a couple of weeks. And then they just stopped playing basketball, I believe, in October. And here we are in December. We're about to start another grind of a regular season and potential playoffs. So I do understand. It's the only thing I want to say with James Harden. I'm defending him a little bit. I do get that he probably feel like, damn, my team just got eliminated in late September or early October, whatever it was, and now we're going to start another season. You know, I didn't get much of a break. We were playing basketball basically for a fucking year, a calendar year, or at least the season's been active for a calendar year. Now we're going to have another season. I kind of get that, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's your job. Okay, you get paid to play what a lot of people do recreationally for stress relief or have fun playing basketball. You get paid for that, and you get paid a lot of fucking money to do that. The least you can do, even if you're gonna have fun, the least you can do is stay in shape, man. I never understood how guys like Antoine Walker. I remember during the '99 lockout. During '99 lockout, those guys hadn't played basketball from, I'd say the spring of '98. Some of them, late spring into summer of '98. They didn't play again until February of '99. Those who didn't retire, like Jordan retired, and Drexler, all those guys retired. But it was amazing to me how many guys were out of shape coming into that season. In particular, Sean Kemp and Antoine Walker. And James Harden, you're a guard. At least those guys are big men. You know what I'm saying? Big men have a tendency to put on weight. Plus, if you look at James Harden, he has that build like a Luka Doncic, who's also coming to this season overweight, but yet, because of obvious reasons, he doesn't really get the criticism that James Harden is going to get for the same thing. But if you look at those guys, they have that build, which tells you if they're not careful, it's unfair, but if they're not careful and really keep control of their weight and their conditioning, they can gain weight rather easily. You know what I'm saying? They got that sort of, a build like a Vinnie Johnson or, a DJ, Dennis Johnson or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dennis Johnson gained 100 pounds after he played. So, I don't know, man. Now that the Houston Rockets organization is, you know, have a new face, new coach, new leadership, and they are pretty much expecting professionalism. They're not playing favorites, and they're trying to have a more, to me, Silas, the coach, his father was a really, really good, if not great. Actually, his father was a great player. You know, borderline Hall of Famer. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame, but Paul Silas could be in the Hall of Fame. I think he was a three-time NBA champion, and he was a really, really good coach. And I like what he's doing in Houston. But James Harden wants to be catered to. He wants to, literally have his cake and eat it too. He wants to be treated special, you know, and he wants to be able to shoot the ball 25, 30 times a night. And I also believe he wants to break Kobe Bryant's modern record of 81 points. I really do believe that. I believe that's an individual goal of his. Like he wants to play 48 minutes in a game that might be a blowout by 30 points, but he wants to pad his scoring total to the point where he gets at least 82 points. Why I'm saying that, from just watching him play, to just watching him be in games where he has 55 or 60 points and his team is up by 30 and it's in the third quarter or in the fourth quarter and you're playing against the second unit. And it really looks kind of ridiculous that you're playing against the second unit. But anyway, uh, that's pretty much it, man. James Harden is the type of guy, he's never going to be the leader of a championship team. Straight up. The only way this guy's going to win a championship if he somehow gets to a situation where it gets explained to him, motherfucker, you're not the star here. And if you don't adhere to what's going on and get with the program, you're getting the fuck up out of here. So as the second option or whatever it is that he'll be in a system like that under a strong coach or at least a strong leader, I could see him winning a title that way. But as the leader of a team, no, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But tell me what you guys think.